Good morning. Today we are again continuing the lesson yoga. We have studied about the yoga as an Indian heritage, and now we will study about the elements of yoga. This was discussed in the Sutra period we have discussed in previous video when Maharshi Patanjali detailed about the 8 elements of the yoga, 8 limbs of the yoga. So, with the slok that given यम नियमासन प्राणायाम प्रत्याहार धारणा ध्यान समाध्यो अष्टांग वंगानी means 8 parts of the yoga, 8 parts of the body of the yoga. So these 8 parts are there: yam niyam asan pranayam pratyahar dharana dhyan samadhi. The practice of these 8 elements is in a order. For those who can want to practice the yoga properly, one can practice yam, one can practice niyama, one can practice asana as pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan and samadhi according to their use. But 8 elements together definitely make a difference, and the person will achieve whatever he wants. So, first we must remember about these 8 elements in order. We must remember always these elements in order: yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan and samadhi. This is the order of learning. We cannot learn dharana after yam because there is no connection. So, yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. This is proper order. So, as yam are the ethical disciplines, names are the self observations, asanas are for the posture of the body, pranayams are the controlling the breathing, to control the breathings, pratyahar of withdrawal of senses, dharana is concentration, dhyan is meditation, and samadhi is a state of joy and peace. These 8 limbs of the yoga can be practiced stepwise. And there are the steps are also given. What are the types of yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Everything we will discuss in detail. But primary thing is these must be in a order, this given order. So yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhyo, ashtangani. So 8 steps are there, which makes us definitely a different person. So what are these 8 we will discuss? First we are coming to the yam. So what is yam? These commandments are the rules of morality for society, and if the individual does not obey, if any individual does not obey these commandments, these rules, brings pain and ignorance. So these are the very basic rules of the life, which can make a big difference in our life. So these commandments are the rule of morality. They create the moral of the persons, moral values for society. And if individual does not obey, they bring pain and ignorance. So we will suffer with the pain and ignorance if we are not following the yam. Patanjali strikes at the root of these evils by changing the direction of one's thinking with these 5 principles of yam. There are 5 rules of the yam are there, 5 principles are there. Whatever the evil things are there in our mind, so that can be removed from the root. So that's why it says that Patanjali strikes the roots of these evils by changing the direction of one's thinking with these 5 principles of yam. To follow these principles of yam, we need to practice them physically, psychologically, and socially to achieve great siddhis or power. Means to get more benefit from these 5 principles of yam, the person need to follow, implement these principles physically, physical body, psychologically in mind, and socially in society. Like we do any work, whatever we are doing that work is physically, we can understand we are doing that work physically, we are involved in that activity. Psychologically, it means we are thinking to do that work, what we are thinking about that work. Socially means how you are sharing that work in the people, how that work is affecting the persons in society. That is social. So each principle must be followed physically, must be practiced physically, psychologically, and socially to achieve great powers or great siddhis. In yoga, it is known as siddhi, it is the power. What are these five principles? So, these five principles are there. The five principles of PM are here: ahimsa, non-violence, means we should not hurt anyone. So, ahimsa means not hurting anyone. So, first is ahimsa. Second is satya. It is truth. We are very well familiar about the word satya, truth. These words are taken from the Sanskrit origin, because yoga is, that we have discussed, yoga is from Sanskrit origin. So that's why these are the terms are used, the words are used from Sanskrit. Ahimsa, non-violence, sat, truth. Aste. Aste is non-stealing. Non-stealing. We should not steal anything, that we will discuss in detail afterward. Physical stealing means we can understand. Physically we are stealing anything. Psychologically we are thinking about the things which are not our, which we do not have. We are thinking the things which are owned by the other persons. So non-stealing, aste is non-stealing. Brahmacharya, continence. Continence is about balancing the element of the body. This we will discuss it in detail. Aparigraha, non-coveting. So there are these five principles which we will discuss in detail. First we are discussing about the yam. So first principle of yam is ahimsa, causing no harm to any living things. Ahimsa means causing no harm to any living things. Anxiety, jealousy, hate, anger are violent emotions. So causing no harm to anything, any living things, is physically we are hurting someone, we are harming someone. Second is psychologically. If you are thinking anything wrong about any person, that is psychological harming. We are harming them psychologically, or psychologically torturing. Sometimes we are not hurting someone physically, we are hurting them psychologically by thoughts, by speaking, by speech, by our words. So ahimsa should be followed physically. Physical harming, we know, physically we are harming someone, we are beating someone, we are hurting someone. Psychologically, in our thoughts we are thinking, in our mind we are thinking to harm someone, to hurt someone. That is also the hurting someone psychologically. Another one is when we are using some word by psychologically, we are making someone in trouble, we are torturing someone psychologically, that is also a part of violence. Socially, socially means when we are involved in such activity, which activities are harmful for someone. Social violence means when we are a part of those activities which can hurt or which are harmful for somebody in the society, or we are doing such a work which are hurting others in society. That is social violence. So we should always avoid physical violence, psychological violence, and social violence. So this is the ahimsa. Ahimsa is when we are avoiding the path of violence and following the ahimsa physically, psychologically, and socially. There are various examples by which we can understand the practice of ahimsa physically, psychologically, and socially. I think you understand now the ahimsa, how we can practice physically practice, we can practice, we should not harm anyone physically, we should not beat anyone physically, we should not involve in fighting activities, we should not hurt any person physically. Psychologically means ahimsa, how we can practice psychologically when we are not torturing anyone psychologically, we are not affecting his or her thoughts or emotions. Psychologically when we are not thinking anything wrong about any person in our mind, that is the psychological practice of ahimsa. Social practice of ahimsa, socially we can practice then when we are doing such a good things which are always beneficial for others. Our any activity should not harm others, should not affect negatively other persons. So this is about the ahimsa, causing no harm to any living things. Not it's only about the person, it is the life. Animals, insects, plants, wherever there is life, we should always protect them. We should always do such a things that they should not harm them physically, psychologically, and socially. This is ahimsa. Satya, truth, truthfulness. Truth we know, truth is the, we must be truthful in thoughts, speech, and deeds. We must not speak to others in deceitful manner. The definition of Satya is that is the reality. The truth is always real. So we should go with the reality. We should always speak whatever we have seen, whatever we have heard, whatever we are thinking. Truthfulness is physically when we are speaking the truth, speaking the reality. Psychologically, when we are thinking about the truth, there are two parts of anything, truth or false. Either we ignore the reality, either we accept the reality. Either we go with the reality, either we try to hide the reality. So, even if in our mind, if we are thinking to hide the reality, that is non truthfulness. So, we should not think about this part. So, truthfulness means always be truthful from your thoughts also. In our thoughts also, we have to be always practice the satya, truth. This is social psychological practice. Now, social practice of truth is that our speaking, whatever we are favoring, we must favor the truth in society. Our favor towards any incident, any talk, any matter can affect the life of other person. So we must go with the social truthfulness. Socially also we have to practice the truthfulness. So that will help us to practice the satya or truthfulness properly in a perfect manner. This is described in the yoga. Satya is truthfulness, which we have to practice physically. When we are physically ourselves, we are speaking, we are talking, we are discussing, we are sharing the truth, the fact, the reality. Psychological truthfulness is then when we are thinking about the reality, we are in our mind, we are only keeping the reality, the fact, the truth. Socially, when we are favoring the truthfulness, the facts, the reality, which can affect other persons in society. In social matters, we should always be truthful, always be with fact, always we should be with reality. That is following the Satya or truthfulness socially. So, second part of the yam. So, that these are the very important principles, very effective principles in our life, which can definitely bring change. Aste, third principle of yam, non stealing. The inclination to use others' object, money, and thoughts for one's own benefit is stealing. We are taking someone's things, someone's object, money, any other thing for our benefit, that is known as stealing. We are snatching others' material, others' items, that is stealing. So, we should go with the non stealing. So, non stealing we have to follow physically. Physical stealing means we have seen something, no one is watching us, so we are taking it. There is no one to see, that's why we have taken. That is stealing. So we have not to involve in stealing anything physically, because the things which are not your, so you have no right to take them. So physical non stealing means we can understand we are not stealing anything which is not our. So a stay we are following physically. Psychologically, sometimes we are unable to take the things of others, the object, money of others. So we are thinking about it. We are thinking that it should be mine. That is the psychological stealing. If you are thinking about all those things which are not your, that is psychological stealing. So we should never think about all those things which are not our, which are owned by other persons. We should never think about those things which we do not have, means which others have. That is practice of a stay or non stealing psychologically. Socially, when we are the part of the society which is involved in stealing, so that is social stealing. Like a group of person is doing such a work to steal anything. So if you are part of that society, that group, so that is social stealing. So we should follow a stay non-stealing socially by avoiding all those activities, such activities, by not being involved in all those activities in which the people are stealing something. Or we should not make any person ready to steal. If we are sometime, we say someone else to steal the others things, because we are unable to steal, so we are pushing someone forward. That is also social stealing. So we should never do such kind of things for following the non stealing socially. Never be a part of the people, part of the group who is involved in stealing. Never encourage any person for stealing activities. Never press anyone, or never encourage anyone for stealing. So that is the social non stealing. So astay is another very important principle. We should never steal anything, and it should be practiced physically, it should be practiced psychologically, it should be practiced socially. Then we will come to the fourth principle, brahmacharya. Conserving one's energy, using your energy for the benefit of individual and society, not for pleasure. So brahmacharya means that is we are protecting our energy, we are protecting the elements of our body which helps us to produce energy, keeping in priority of others' benefit. and pleasure. So brahmacharya is always when we are avoiding the selflessness. Selfishness, sorry, we are avoiding selfishness. So be selflessness. There should be selflessness because we are after the others. We are conserving, we are saving, we are protecting our energy, our power for benefit of others. Before our own benefit and our own pleasure. That is known as brahmacharya. And brahmacharya also says that we should not involve all those activities which gives pleasure for short time of period. We should avoid all those activities which are giving pleasure for short time of period. We should conserve the pleasure for longer duration. When we are doing such a things which can give us happiness for longer duration, those activities are good. But some of the activities which gives us pleasure for short time of period, so we should always avoid those things. So brahmacharya is conserving our energy and potential for longer duration. We should not waste our energy and potential on things which are giving pleasure for short time of period. We have health, time, money, which we can use for pleasure most oftenly. When we are using these things for our pleasure, first one thing. Secondly, when we are using all these things for getting pleasure for short time of period, that is also against the brahmacharya. So we should follow brahmacharya. We should not go for the things which gives short period, the pleasure for short time of period, and which are only making us to get self pleasure. Aparigraha is non-possessiveness, non-grasping, non-greediness. Aparigraha refers to keeping the desire for possession to what is necessary or important depending on one's life stage and context. Aparigraha says that whatever we are doing, it will reflect in our body, reflect in our personality. We should always avoid the bond of relationship. Sometimes we are doing wrong things because of we are bonded by the relations, love of father, mother, brother, sister, and friends. We are doing, if someone is, one example I am giving you, if someone is saying any wrong thing to my parents, I will become aggressive, I will do wrong things. So Aparigraha says that there should be control over this aggression. There we should have the bond of relationship. We are doing wrong because of the bond of relationship. We should think about it. We should not react too quickly. Sometimes our parents are wrong and we are with them because we love them. Aparigraha says there should be, we have to good control over the bond of relationship. proper control over the bond of relationship. Otherwise, immediately we will give reaction because it is matter of our parents. So, because of the bond of relationship, because we love them so much, so that's why we are doing this. So, Aparigraha says that we should be very careful, we should have good control over this emotion which is reacting due to the bond of relationship. So, Aparigraha should be practiced physically, in which we are involved physically, psychologically when we are thinking in our mind, and socially when we are it is affecting the society. So this is all about the yam. 5 principles of yam we have discussed today in detail. Satya, ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha. 5 yams, what were? Ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya and aparigraha we have discussed. This is very important. The first limb, first element of yoga. So we will go with the second element, niyam, in the next video.